Welcome to Tea Time with Alice. I'm Alice, and today I'm drinking the Arbor Tea's Mango Rooibos tea. And I didn't put any sweetener in this because even though a lot of the times with fruity teas, I like to put a little agave, I feel like the rooibos is earthy enough that it doesn't really lend itself well to sweetener. So I have this just on its own. And I'm going to take off this little guy's head to drink it. Also, they are still doing construction on my apartment complex. So if you hear very loud noises in the background, the world is not quite ending in my backyard. It's just people doing their jobs. Today, I want to talk about the 7 deadly sins, except not really, just one of them, but I'll start with 2. So I feel like the 2 7 deadly sins that I exhibit the most are pride and envy. And I'll talk about each of those, but firstly, the 7 deadly sins are a list of sins that the Christian, especially Catholic Church, used to warn people against while encouraging them to exhibit virtues instead. So the virtues were what they wanted people to do, which they believed were godly, and then the sins were sort of the opposites of those. So there have been different iterations of this list. There have been more or less of these sins, but the 7 that we know most or know best today are the pride, envy, greed, wrath, sloth, gluttony, and lust. So the 2 that I feel like I exhibit the most are pride and envy. And envy is when you're envious of what somebody else has. You want what someone else has that you don't have, whether that be wealth, beauty, a better relationship, better hair, whatever the case may be. They have it, you don't have it, you want it. And some of that is also not really true, like it's in your mind, like maybe they have long, luscious, blonde hair and you want that, but you have short, curly red hair. Both are beautiful, but for some reason you feel like the long, luscious blonde hair is what you want rather than the short, curly red hair. And so regardless of the inherent value of either, you're envious of the other person. So I experience that way too often. But the other one I experience a lot is less harder to define, I think, and that's pride. And as a sin, pride is kind of like an overestimation of oneself. Overconfidence, arrogance, boastfulness, the feeling that you are better than. And I don't think that I outwardly exhibit that pretty much ever, but inwardly, sometimes I feel like that. And it often is sort of counterbalanced with feelings of insecurity, and like that I feel like I want people to acknowledge and appreciate me more, but they don't, and I feel really insecure about that. But at the same time, I feel like I do deserve more, and that makes me sad that I'm not acknowledged and appreciated for what I deserve. So kind of a nuanced take on that, but when I was looking up the 7 deadly sins last night and looking up the definition of pride on the dictionary, of course there is another definition of pride that is almost the same thing except without the negative connotation, and that's just confidence, esteem, like self-esteem, feeling proud of oneself. And there's nothing like sinful about it. You're not believing that you're better than, you're just accepting who you are and you feel good about it. And that's really what I want to talk about today, because it is Pride Month. And Pride Month is a time for the LGBTQ plus community to not only feel proud of themselves, which they really should do all the time, not just in the month of June, but to be loud about it, to fly their banner, to say, like, we are proud of who we are, and we are, you know, that's going to be something that we not boast about, but just speak out about. So there's this like nuanced take again of pride being like a bad thing if you're like saying how confident and how much self-esteem you have and how deserving you are, but it's also a good thing to say those things about yourself if you feel good about yourself. So that's something that I think I struggle with, remembering that pride doesn't have to be negative. And people who grew up in religious communities may struggle with that as well. So I'd be interested to hear if anyone else does. But with this sort of new connotation being so prevalent in our culture nowadays, I think it's just something worth discussing and thinking about. Pride as something good, especially when deconstructing from some of the religious like hold that I guess, what's the word I'm looking for, the entrapment, or like the trap of feeling tied down to something that does not serve you anymore, that does not suit your life, your beliefs, or who you are. So yeah, so as far as being proud of LGBTQ plus people, them being proud of themselves, and allies being proud of them for being who they are, I want to say I don't consider myself one of the LGBTQ plus community, although I think that I am a little queer in my own ways, as far as like sexuality and gender goes. But I do consider myself an ally, and today I wanted to wear a rainbow scarf to express my my proudness of you guys and you people, and also, yeah, so as an ally I feel like we can be proud of others for expressing themselves, but even those who have not come out, who are still living in a space that they feel is keeping them from being able to express themselves or be who they are, or that feel trapped, or that feel ashamed. I want to say you don't have to be loud to be proud. You can still feel it in yourself. You can still feel deserving of being alive and being who you are, and hope that someday you will find a place that, find a community that will acknowledge and appreciate and love you. So that's all I really wanted to talk about today, is pride in both senses of the word, and especially in the positive sense, and to say to my LGBTQ plus friends and acquaintances that I'm proud of you, and I hope that you can be proud of yourself. And yeah, that's all. Kind of went on a little tangent there, but that was kind of the direction I wanted to go in today. That's all I have to say, and I'll see you next month.